John Mayer has recorded many outstanding guitar solos. Among them unforgettable masterpieces like Slow Dancing in the Burning Room and Gravity. And even though these are great songs and solos, I don't think they are that difficult to play. But there is this one guitar solo that surprisingly no one mentions, even though I think it's spectacular. Or maybe people just don't dare to. And I'm not surprised. This one is really tough. I've spent months practicing it to get it as close to John's versions as possible. The solo I'm talking about comes from John Mayer's live version of his song Who Did You Think I Was? But it is not one of those incredible performances with his trio, but this particular solo comes from his solo performance during his Berkeley clinic. It sounds like this. A perfectly normal thing to do when you are a singer-songwriter and you are performing alone is to just leave out all those guitar solos and focus on singing and accompanying yourself. But not if you are John Mayer. You come up with a guitar solo that just blows people's minds. He couldn't use the solo that he normally plays with his band. That would have not worked, it would feel too flat without bass and drums. So instead he uses a typical Hendrix-style combination of rhythm and lead to create a solo that fits the groove of the song perfectly. And it is all played just over one chord, A7. Let's break down this solo to see why it might be his most difficult one. First reason why this solo is so difficult to master is the blazing speed it is played at. Even though the tempo of the song is only around 84 BPM, John uses 30-second note strumming to embellish and fatten up riffs and melodies that he is playing. But to hit the right note while moving your hands so fast is quite challenging. So to execute this properly, you really need to have a great control over your left hand, otherwise this is going to be just a big mess. Let's see how this works. This is the main theme of the first part of the solo. So basically what we have here is note A played with a thumb on the 5th fret of E string, followed by 3 slides to the 3rd and 7th of the A7 chord. Then we go to the D chord that we place twice, and then we come back with a simple riff. Okay, so we play like A minor 7 chord, and then a pull off from 7th fret to 5th fret on D string, and then 7th fret of A string. So slowly and without all the muting, it will sound like this. It sounds fun, but to make it feel more exciting, we need to add all those percussive muted notes that John is playing. To accomplish this, we need to put this constant percussive movement behind our melody, like this. So it's this consistent down, up movement of our picking hand that makes the melody come alive. But to get that 30-second note strumming at 84 BPM, it is very hard. So when I was practicing it, I was thinking in double time. So the target tempo was 16 notes at 168 BPM. I know it is the same as 30-second notes at 84 BPM, but I think you have more control over it this way, and you can easier see the progress when practicing this. If you want to play this solo at the original tempo, you've got to build your technique and stamina, so you are able to keep those constant 16 notes at 168 BPM. But right now, we are not worried about speed, so I will demonstrate it at a slower tempo, so you can see and hear what is happening. I will play the same melody as before, but with this percussive motor behind it. First a little faster, then I slow it down. Can you hear the difference? I think it is night and day. Without those percussive strums, With it? Now it sounds as it should. But this is not over yet. To make matters worse, John never plays this main theme the same. There are 4 repetitions of it, and each time he plays it, it is a little bit different. What a bummer. But getting this one down, I just showed you, will make learning those other 3 much easier. I can promise you that. If you want to see all those 4 variations, you can download a full tape of this solo on my Patreon page. But we need to keep moving forward with this solo, because there is a second part to it that we haven't talked about yet. And it gets very interesting. This second part is composed very similarly to the first part. We have a main theme played 4 times, each time a little bit differently. Again, here is the main riff, first full speed, then a little slower. Now this one is probably even more challenging than the first one. Let's see what is going on. Again, we start with thumb on 5th fret of E string, play the note A. That's the easy part. Now we have to grab E and B string on the 5th fret and hammer the B string on the 7th fret. Like this. The biggest problem I had while hammering the B note was that I was muting the E string. So you have to be careful to make sure that both of those strings are ringing at the same time. After that hammer on, play those 2 strings again, followed by the pull off from 7 to 5 on the G string, and follow on 7th fret of the D string. Now again we slide to the 6th fret of G string and 5th fret of D string, as before, and then hammer on 5 to 7 on D, and the ending goes like this: 8th fret E, 5th fret A, then again 8-5 on E, and finish on the 7th fret of A string. If we put it all together, we will get this. And as you can probably guess, this is not how John plays it. We have to put that percussive motor behind it, so it sounds like this. Now your left hand muting has to become impeccable, otherwise the melody won't stand out. And if this was not enough, every repetition of this riff is again a little bit different, so you really need to pay attention to what's going on. This is why this guitar solo is so difficult to pull off cleanly. It is very fast, your picking hand is in constant motion, and left hand has to fret the right notes while also muting everything else. Quite a challenge, I have to say. And if you watch the Berkeley video carefully, John doesn't even look like he's trying too much. Such a great player. Even though I think this is one of the most difficult John Mayer solo, I still believe that if you like this style of playing, then you can learn a lot here. And not only you can learn a lot, you cannot master it without really improving your technique and your rhythm. It is tough, but well worth learning. Alright, that is it for today's video. What do you think is John Mayer's most difficult guitar solo? Let me know in the comments. Have a great day. Keep rocking.